This video is for the Chapter 3, Section 1 review. This video will cover the first 4 problems. Simplify as much as possible, leaving no negative exponents or decimals. All right, let's look at number 1. Number 1, as you read it here, it says 48x to the 5th y to the 5th over 32x to the negative 4th y to the 6th. The easiest way to do this one, let's just take it and break it into compatible parts. We've got 48 over 32 times x to the 5th over x to the negative 4th times y to the 5th over y to the 6th. Now we can take it and just kind of analyze each of these parts and then simplify them down, put it back together. So when I look at 48 over 32, right, I know that 16 is a common factor of both of these numbers, right? This is like 16 times 3 over 16 times 2, in which case those 16s cancel and I have 3 halves left over. On x to the 5th over x to the negative 4th, right, I know that since this is a negative exponent, this expression is going to have to come up, and I'd have x to the positive 4th up here. So when I do x to the 5th times x to the 4th, I should get x to the 9th. And then we've got over here y to the 5th over y to the 6th, right? So when we think about each of these, 5 of these are going to cancel out 5 of these ones, right? And leaving us with just a single y to the 1st on the bottom, right? So these all cancel because we have more on the bottom than on the top. So this is going to be like a 1 over y. And now we'll just take it and we'll put it back together. We've got 3x to the 9th over 2y. That is our answer. Looking at the second one now. Number 2, we've got a negative 4a squared over 3b, and that's being raised to the second power. And then we've got a negative b over 2a, and then that's being raised to the third power. So let's deal with these exponents first. So as we take it here, right, this is like saying I'm going to end up squaring the top. I have negative 4a squared over a 3b squared. If we take that and we square each of our terms, right, when I square negative 4, I'm going to get 16. And when I square the a squared, I'm going to get a to the 4th. On the bottom, 3 squared is going to be 9, and b squared is b squared. All right, let's go on to the second fraction. We've got a negative b to the third power over a 2a to the third power. So as we look at it here, right, a negative b times a negative b times a negative b is going to give us a negative b to the third over 2 times 2 times 2 is going to give me 8, and a times a times a is a to the third. Now from here, you can do this a couple different ways. Some people like to start simplifying here, or you can take it and kind of multiply it all together and then simplify. You'll get to the same answer either way, right? This is like a negative 1 on my b to the third, right? So negative 1 times 16 would be a negative 16. I have an a to the 4th, b to the third, over 9 times 8 gives me 72. And then I'd have an a to the third, b to the second power. All right, so now to look at what would we do next? We do the same thing we would just did in problem 1. Just break it down into compatible parts and simplify them. Right, so when I look up here, I have negative 16 over 72. I have an a to the 4th over a to the third. And then I have a b to the third over b squared. So first thing we just need to do is simplify our negative 16 over 72, right? And these are ones here that sometimes people struggle with here, but I could look at this as I have I'm going to take the negative. I'm not going to worry about the negative right now. The fraction will still be negative in the end. So I'm going to just put it in front of the fraction bar. But then I know that 8 goes into 16 2 times, right? So this was like 8 times 2. And actually, let me write that up above so I don't confuse anybody. I'm talking about the 16 right now, right? So this was an 8 times 2. And on the bottom, we have an 8 times 9, right? Because 8 times 9 is 72. The 8s would cancel, and that's where we get negative 2/9. A to the 4th over a to the 3rd, right? When we deal with that there, right? These 3 are going to cancel with 3 of those ones, leaving us with 1. So we'd have an A. I'm sorry, my screen keeps moving and my pen won't write. Times A. And then that would just be over 1. And then our b to the 3rd over b squared is going to simplify to b. That would be over 1. So our answer, we're going to have a negative 2ab over 9. And if you put your negative up there with the 2, that's fine. Or if you put it in the bottom with the 9, we just need one negative. All right, let's move on to problem 3. On problem 3, we have negative 2u squared times uv to the 3rd. And we have a negative u to the negative 2nd v squared. Okay, so start where you want to start. I'm going to start out here. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and just multiply from left to right. So I'm going to do those two first. This has like a 1 in front, so it's like negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. U squared times u would be a u to the 3rd, and then I'd have a v to the 3rd. That's my product of those first two quantities. Now if I take it here and I multiply it times my negative u to the negative 2nd v squared, okay, so I'm going to say this is like a negative 1 u to the negative 2nd v squared. So negative 2 times negative 1 is going to be a positive 2. I can take this u to the negative 2nd if I want to, and I could write it as 1 over u to the 2nd, or I can just use my property here where I know that if I'm multiplying u to the 3rd times this u to the negative 2nd, I'm just going to add the exponents. So this would be like a u to the 3 plus negative 2, and my v would be a 3 plus 2. So in the end, we're going to have a 2, u to the 1st, v to the 3 plus 2 would be 5, and that would be our answer. All right, last one, number 4. Same as the ones all up above. Okay, let's just break it down and do it a piece at a time. I have a 3ab squared, and that's being raised to the 3rd power. And I have a 4b to the 4th, and that's being raised to the negative 2nd. We're going to start with the 3ab squared to the 3rd power. That just means that everything here is getting raised to the 3rd power. Right, we've got a to the 3rd, we've got a b squared to the 3rd. Don't forget to raise 3 to the 3rd. That's usually the big mistake, is people forget to use the number or the numeral that's in front. So 3 to the 3rd we know is 27, a to the 3rd, and then 2 times 3 gives us 6, so b to the 6th. On our fraction, I'm sorry, not our fraction, but our expression on the right, this is like saying 4 to the negative 2nd power times b to the 4th to the negative 2nd power, right, which should give us here, right, 4 squared is 16, so 4 to the negative 2nd would be 1 over 16, and then b to the 4th to the negative 2nd, right, would be b to the negative 8th, so we want to change it to 1 over b to the positive 8th. Now let's kind of put them together. We'd have 27 a to the 3rd, b to the 6th, over a 16 b to the 8th power. And now we just want to simplify anything we can. I don't believe 27 and 16 have any common factors besides 1. We only have a's in the top, but then we can cancel out some b's, right? We've got b to the 8th and b to the 6th. So when we cancel those out, we should be left with a b squared on the bottom. So our answer should be 27a to the third over 16b squared. That is our answer. So that's problems 1, 2, 3, and 4 from the Chapter 3, Section 1 quiz review. If you have questions, please make sure you reach out. Thanks for watching.